the big breaking news at the moment. Remember, the decision was taken by the ICC yesterday, where the ICC board went for voting, and it was voted 14-2 in favor of not having Bangladesh if they do not play in India. So ICC wasn't changing its stance. It said, listen, we cannot accommodate your games in Sri Lanka as was being demanded by Bangladesh. But they did still give 24 hours to Bangladesh to come back in case they have a change of heart, in case they change their mind. Now we've heard the final word coming in from Bangladesh, where the Bangladesh Cricket Board consulted with the interim government, the sports representative, and now they have decided that no, they are not going to make any compromise on their stance. They still believe that it's not safe for Bangladeshi players to be playing on Indian soil. And if that means that they are removed from the T20 World Cup, then so be it. And so that's the status at the moment, which automatically means that the ball is now in ICC's court. They've taken their decision. Very soon, you can then expect ICC to come up with which is the team that's going to be firstly, officially putting out on record that
Right.
Bangladesh has been
Right,
removed from the
Nikhil, we
tournament.
do the Bangladesh sports minister making it clear that this is a government decision. Nikhil Nas continues to be with us. Nikhil, very clearly stated, it is a government decision. We have decided, the board has also therefore toed the line, and the players have been informed.
Well, that's right, Anjali. I mean, two things really stand out. One, that it is definitely government's decision, and this is something we knew, following this story for the last couple of weeks. It's the Bangladesh government that got involved, and the catalyst of it, Mustafizur Rahman, the Bangladesh player who had been picked in the IPL auction, was removed from IPL. His contract was cancelled after there was a growing concern here in India that how can, in the current scenario where you're having attacks on minorities in Bangladesh, how can you have a Bangladesh player participate in the Indian Premier League? Basis that the IPL, backed by the BCCI, took that decision of not having that Bangladesh player. That's where I think the government got involved. Many Bangladeshis on the ground as well. We were listening to voices coming out of Bangladesh, also took it rather personally, saying that, listen, this is an insult to a Bangladesh player. And from there on, they said, now, as a reciprocal measure, we will not travel to India. And they cited security concerns. So that's where the government then got involved. And then in the to and fro between the Bangladesh Cricket Board and the ICC, every time there was a conversation, the Bangladesh Cricket Board would go back to the interim government and then take a call as to what should be the next step. And that's exactly what's happened in the last 24 hours as well. I think the other thing that really stands out here is that what happened to that conversation with the cricketers. And it's very interesting to note that when we were listening to this press conference, by the government representative, he made it very clear that I do not want to come up with details as to what our conversation was with cricketers. And that just hints at a fact that maybe there were a few players within the Bangladeshi team that were keen to play that World Cup, which is why they're not being very open about as to what the conversation was. Because before this, every sort of stance that Bangladesh was taking, they were coming out with a press release and actually mentioning point to point as to what the thought process was. Here, they're reluctant to mention
Right.
what the players have to say. We
Right.
also heard that few players did not want to attend this
Right.
meeting that was with the government. So clearly, players not on the same page as the
Right.
government, but the decision has been taken.